Dear students, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to study about the lesson Language of Chemistry. In previous classes we have learned that the symbols of elements and the formulae of compounds help in expressing their long names as shorthand notations which forms the language of chemistry. This is not a new topic for you, instead a revision of what you studied in class 8. We know that everything in the universe is made up of matter, and matter in turn is made up of very minute particles called atoms. Matter can be broadly classified into pure substances and mixtures. Let us see what is a pure substance. A pure substance is the one which is made up of molecules containing same kinds of atoms. Pure substances are of two types, elements and compounds. An element is a simple and pure form of matter which cannot be decomposed into simpler substances. So, elements are the pure substances which cannot be decomposed into simpler substances. An atom is the smallest particle of an element which may or may not exist independently but can take part in a chemical reaction. So, an element is made up of the same kind of atoms. It is the smallest particle of an element. A set of atoms of the same type together forms the molecule of the element. The number of atoms in a molecule of an element is known as its atomicity. So, the number of atoms in a molecule of an element is known as its atomicity. So, depending upon the number of atoms in a molecule, molecules can be monoatomic, diatomic and even polyatomic. Monoatomic molecules. Elements having only one atom in their molecule. They are known as monoatomic molecules. Example, noble gases, metals and carbon. These are all examples of monoatomic molecules. They have only one atom in their molecule. Next we have diatomic molecules. Diatomic molecules are molecules having two atoms. So, elements having two atoms in their molecules. We have examples like H2 hydrogen molecule, N2 nitrogen molecule, O2 oxygen molecule and Cl2 chlorine molecule. In all these molecules you can see there are two atoms. H2 hydrogen molecule, it's made up of two hydrogen atoms. Nitrogen molecule N2, it's made up of two nitrogen atoms. Oxygen molecule O2, it is made up of two oxygen atoms. And chlorine molecule Cl2, it is made up of two chlorine atoms. So we have discussed about diatomic molecules. Then what do you mean by triatomic molecules? It is sure that elements having three atoms in their molecules, and an example is ozone O3. Tetraatomic means elements having four atoms in their molecule. Example is P4 phosphorus. And we have even octaatomic molecule, that is none other than sulfur. Sulfur has 8 atoms in its molecule and we represent it as S8. So it is an octaatomic molecule. Means the atomicity of sulfur is 8. Now let us see what is a molecule. How do we define a molecule? A molecule is the smallest particle that has the capability to exist independently. So a molecule is the smallest particle that has the capability to exist independently. The molecule of an element exhibits all the properties of that element. That you have to take in your mind. Keep it in your mind. The molecule of an element exhibits all the properties of that element. Now I told you when elements combine together we get a compound. So let us define a compound. What is a compound? A compound is a pure substance formed of two or more elements combined in a fixed ratio. That is very important. Combined elements combined in a fixed ratio. So a compound is a pure substance formed of two or more elements combined in a fixed ratio, definite ratio. Example, water, ammonia, sugar, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide. We have different millions of compounds. So all these compounds are formed of two or more elements. We have 118 elements discovered so far. So out of these, except noble gases, other elements combine together to complete their octet or to attain stability. Elements combine with each other. Exception is noble gases. Noble gases are already stable. They have 8 electrons in their valence shell, so they do not combine with each other. And with other elements also they do not combine. All other elements combine to attain stability. Now let us see what is valency. In lower classes you have studied the definition of valency, that the valency of an element is its combining capacity, or combining power of an element is known as its valency. The valency of an element is a measure of its combining power with other elements. Valency is measured in terms of hydrogen atoms or oxygen atoms. It is the number of hydrogen atoms or double the number of oxygen atoms that can combine with it. Since no other element has combining capacity less than that of hydrogen, the valency is taken to be 1. The valency of hydrogen is taken to be 1 and is considered a standard. But the modern definition of valency, it states that the modern definition for valency is that it is the number of electrons that an atom can lose, gain or share during a chemical reaction. You know that electrons are the particles which take part in a chemical reaction. That also the valence electrons or the outermost electrons. Electrons present in outermost shell we call as outermost electrons or valence electrons. These valence electrons take part in chemical reaction. And as already said, to attain stability, atoms either lose electron, gain electron, or sometimes they share electrons. In the lesson chemical bonding, you have studied in detail about that, how the atoms gain, lose or share the electrons. That depends on the number of valence electrons. So here valency means it is the number of electrons that an atom can lose, gain or share during a chemical reaction. That is known as the valency. It is the modern definition of valency. Then what happens when an atom lose electron, gain electron or share electron? Let us see. We all know that an atom contains electrons, protons and neutrons. Each electron has one unit negative charge and each proton has one unit positive charge. Neutron is neutral, that means it has no electric charge. Every atom normally contains an equal number of electrons and protons which balance the charges in the atom and make an atom electrically neutral. You know that. If one or more electrons are either removed from an atom or added to an atom, then the atom has either less number of electrons than normal or more number of electrons than normal. and as a result it gets an overall electric charge. Now we cannot call this, when an atom gets an electric charge, we cannot call this as an atom. Instead we call it as an ion. Now let us see what is an ion. An ion is a positively or negatively charged atom or group of atoms which are formed by loss or gain of electrons by an atom or group of atoms. So when an atom loses electron, it gets a positive charge, and when an atom gains electron, it gets a negative charge. So when an atom loses electrons, electrons are removed from the atom. That is why it gets a overall positive charge. When electrons are gained by an atom, electrons are added to that atom, therefore it gets a negative charge. So we have two types of ions, positively charged ions and negatively charged ions. Positively charged ions are known as cations and negatively charged ions are known as anions. So generally speaking, an ion is a positively or negatively charged atom or group of atoms which are formed by loss or gain of electrons by an atom or group of atoms. Positive ions are known as cations which are formed by the loss of electrons, and negative ions are known as anions which are formed by the gain of electrons. Let us study more about cations and anions. The loss or gain of electrons in an atom depends upon electrons in the outermost shell. To attain stability, atoms have to have 8 electrons in their outermost shell or orbit. If an atom has 8 electrons in its outermost shell, it is naturally stable. So thus atoms with 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence shell lost their electrons to attain stability and thus form monovalent, divalent and trivalent positive ions respectively. See, we know that elements are classified into metals and non-metals. There are metalloids also. So usually metals have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence shell. So to attain stability, it is easy to lose these electrons. So usually in a chemical reaction, metals lose their electrons and form positively charged ions. Positively charged ions or we call as cations. So usually metals form cations. Let us see the example. Here you can see let us see the formation of cations. See, here you can see sodium. Its electronic configuration is 281. It loses 1 electron, minus 1 electron. So when 1 electron is lost, it has a total of only 10 electrons, 2, 8. And when 1 electron is lost, it has got a positive charge also, and we represent it as Na plus. See the number of electrons, it has only 10 electron and the configuration is 2, 8. Understood? Then let us take the case of magnesium. Magnesium, its electronic configuration is 2, 8, 2. 2 electrons are there in the valence shell of magnesium. Therefore, it is easy to lose 2 electrons to attain stability. That means to have 8 electrons, magnesium can easily lose 2 electrons. So, it loses 2 electron, Mg minus 2 electron, and it forms Mg2 plus. Mg2 plus. 2 plus means 2 unit positive charge. It has got 2 unit positive charge. So, it loses 2 electrons and gets Mg2 plus, and the electronic configuration is 2, 8. Okay. then it forms a bivalent positive ion. In the case of sodium, it forms a monovalent positive ion. Now let us take the case of aluminium. Aluminium, the electronic configuration is 283. It loses 3 electrons to attain stability. Therefore, Al minus 3 electron gives Al3 plus. 3 electrons are lost. 3 electrons are lost means 3 unit negative charge is lost, and therefore it gets Al3 plus. Okay, and the configuration is 2,8. It forms a trivalent positive ion. Now see, in all these cases, Na plus, the configuration is 2,8. Mg2 plus, the configuration is 2,8. Al3 plus also the configuration is 2,8. That means when they are changed into ions, they are stable. They have a stable configuration. So we can say that an atom is unstable. See, in the case of sodium, this atom is unstable because it wanted to attain stability by losing its 1 electron. But in the case of sodium ion, Na plus, it is already stable. It has got 2,8. It is the configuration of inert gas. So this ion is stable. Okay, so this is the formation of cations. So cations are formed by the loss of electrons. Cations are formed by the loss of electrons. Usually metals form cations because they have 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence shell. In this context, we can say that if an element has 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their valence shell, these elements are metals. They may be metals. Okay. Now let us study the formation of anions. Anions are formed by the gain of electrons. When an atom gains electrons, it forms an anion. Let us see the formation of a chloride ion. See, we have chlorine atom. Chlorine, the electronic configuration is 287. See the number of valence electron in chlorine atom. You can see that it is 7. So to have 8 electrons in its valence shell, it is easy for chlorine to gain 1 electron. So it gains 1 electron and forms a chloride ion, Cl minus. When it gains electron, it has got the configuration 288. Valence shell is completed with 8 electrons. Now so it forms a negative ion. We call it as a chloride ion. In the case of oxygen, see the valence electron, it has 6 valence electrons. So to attain stability means to have 8 electrons in the valence shell. Okay. So to attain stability, it needs 2 more electrons. Therefore, oxygen atom gains 2 electrons and forms an oxide ion O2 minus, and its configuration is 2,8. Okay. And in the case of nitrogen, the valence electron, it has 5 valence electrons, and to attain stability, it gains 3 electrons and it forms N3 minus. We call it as a nitride ion. Here also the configuration is 2,8. So when these atoms, these are all non-metals. When these non-metals gain electrons, they form their anions. They form negatively charged ions which are stable. So I think you have understood that to have stability or to have 8 electrons in their valence shell, atoms either lose electron or gain electron. When they lose electron, they form positively charged ion, and when they gain electron, they form negatively charged ions. As already said, valency depends on the number of electrons in the outermost shell. Here you can see a table in which the number of electrons in valence shell and the valency is written. See, if the number of valence electrons in the valence shell is 1, it has got the valency 1. And the number of valence electron is 2, valency also 2. Number of valence electron in the valence shell 3, then it is valency is 3. and if it has 4 valence electrons, valence is also 4. Now see, if it has 5 electrons in the valence shell, its valency is 3. Valency now reduces. And if it has 6 valence electrons, valency is 2. If it has 7 valence electrons, then the valency is 1. And if an element has 8 electrons in the valence shell, its valency is 0. See why the valency is 0? These elements, when an element has 8 electrons in the valence shell, they are noble gases. They are already stable. They do not take part in any chemical reaction. Therefore, their valency is 0. They do not combine with any other elements. So, their valency is 0. Now, here in these cases, if it has 1 electron in the valence shell, it loses 1 electron and the valency 1. In case of 2, it loses 2 electrons, valency 2. In case of 3, it loses 3 electrons, valency 3. Now, in case of 4, it neither loss or gain, it shares. It shares the electron and therefore valency 4. That means it can combine with the 4 other elements. Then the valency 5, valence shell has 5 electron, means it needs 3 more electrons to complete octet. Therefore, valency 3. In the case of 6 electrons, it needs 2 more electrons to complete octet. Therefore, the valency 2. In the case of elements with 7 electrons in the valence shell, it needs 1 more electron to complete octet. Therefore, the valency 1. Okay. There are some elements which show variable valency. So, certain elements exhibits more than one valency. That is, they show variable valency. We have examples like iron. Its valency is 2 and 3. It shows 2 valencies, namely 2 and 3. Copper shows 1 and 2. Lead 2 and 4. Tin also shows 2 and 4. Then mercury shows 1 and 2. So these elements show variable valencies. In some cases, iron loses 2 electrons, then it has got a valency of 2, and in some cases it loses 3 electrons, then its valency is 3. In the case of copper, sometimes it loses 1 electron and has a valency 1, and in some occasions it loses 2 electrons and gets a valency of 2. In the case of lead and tin, they have valencies 2 and 4, and in the case of mercury, it has a valency of 1 and 2. Some nonmetals like nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, etc. also show variable valencies. Now it's time for assignment. Do the assignment in your notebook itself and send to me. Let us wind up for today's session. Thank you.